Management simulation games can typically provide players cathartic control over several in-game events and outcomes. It's a genre catered to those who are patient and willing to concoct on-the-fly stratagems for different outcomes. However, the recently released Needy Streamer Overload is far from your typical narrative-based sim. Instead, it's a social commentary on current internet culture and mental illness. While certainly not for everyone, it sets out to achieve its intended messages and goals stellarly. It is vital to note that this title is not for those sensitive to depictions and illusions of self-harm and suicidal thoughts, as those tragic mentalities are at the forefront of this experience. Players manage their in-game girlfriend, Ame-chan, as she strives to become a wildly popular live streamer. Her stress, mental darkness, affection, and followers are the stats players must be mindful of, with your actions determining their continually altering values. As expected, live streaming is a gameplay mechanic and has players moderating her stream persona's comment sections. While the pace of those streams is occasionally off-putting, their speed can be adjusted for those who are more impatient. Aside from that though, there are several tasks players can partake in with Ame-chan, such as bonding together outside or binging online content. Each activity has clear implications for her stats, and you are even warned of exact value changes beforehand, so there is transparency. There is great variety with these choices, providing agency and freshness with each passing in-game day. Further, this design decision makes it so everyone's playthrough will be especially unique to themselves, as Ame-chan's livestream ideas are born from specific outcomes. The soundtrack is addictive to the ears too, with catchy beats I never grew weary of. Still, there is the elephant in the room throughout the entirety of these efforts, that being Ame-chan's unrealistic livestream growth goals. Her idea of success is simply too lofty to achieve realistically, so your efforts accompany a definite sense of meaninglessness. The close-knit interactions the two of you have in personal messages amplify this gnawing sense of dread and hopelessness, since Ame-chan's frail interior is laid bare. Speaking of those messages, the writing in this title is superb. Ame-chan's cynical desperation is realistically portrayed, and it is admirable since believable depictions of poor mental health greatly range in efficacy across all sorts of media. Her livestream persona is obviously played up to appeal to her watchers, yet she's still grounded in her actual characterization due to the live stream topics originating from her interactions with you. Moreover, the viewer comments feel legitimate and in line with our real-world internet culture, ultimately resulting in an uncomfortable yet effective presentation. Regardless of the choices you make, the stress induced by self-imposed online alienation and the loneliness that arises for those already mentally ill is heart-wrenching to see unfold. This is where the idea of reviewing such a game becomes questionable. This game is more of an emotive experience than a conventionally enjoyable one, making this more of a brief time sink for those desiring proficient emotional impact. To a non-gamer, or even those not knowledgeable in these types of emotionally induced experiences, the idea of not having fun probably seems like nonsense. However, games have long since grown to deliver memorable experiences that should not be disdained in collective media at large. None of this is to say that Needy Streamer Overload is on the complete end of the insipid spectrum, but it's clearly intent on trying its hardest to internally resonate with players, which I believe it wholeheartedly excels at doing. Needy Streamer Overload is a recommendable title for those yearning for an unhinged aberration of management simulations. Its realistic portrayal of ill mental health and internet reception deserves to be experienced by as many crowds as possible, notably due to its multiple endings and player choice. Still, the lack of conventional joy derived from such a title limits the crowd who can play and enjoy such a game. As such, our scoring is not representative of overall quality, but an attempted melded assessment of its intentions and provided entertainment. Noisy Pixel is giving Needy Streamer Overload an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Please check out the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.